Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from MouseSteps.com.
And this is episode number 384
384
of MouseSteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. We have about a month left of the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts.
Oh, it goes by so fast, fast.
And then the Taste of the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival starts not too long after that. And October 1st is a kickoff of the 50th. However that goes this year, we'll see how we'll see how it goes. But check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel for their great service, and they will help you get the best deal as well for your trip.
So this week we're going to talk about the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. It's a composite of 2 visits, and hopefully we have it pretty fully covered.
Well, there's still more to see, like the
There
Voices of Liberty. They do the American Songbook. We haven't seen them yet, but there's always something new to see when we go. The festival runs from January 8th through February 22nd.
And you can see Figment is a big part of it. I really like this, depending on where you walk around to see this sort of, I guess this is the secondary entrance signage here. It looks very different. I mean, you'll see we're going to show you different angles, but I really like this.
It's almost like there's entrance signage in several areas, including the actual, front entrance. And this is actually my favorite, though, I think, of everything.
Yeah, it's great. And now we're going to take a look at some of the art, the drawing on inspiration. There's a whole bunch of concept, well, not really concept art, reimaginations of this original Epcot artwork here, starting with Spaceship Earth.
I was really impressed by this, and I'm glad that it wasn't too busy so we could get some photos and, some photos and video of it. But Morgan Lee Richardson and Jimmy Pickering created this gorgeous artwork, including like Universe of Energy.
Yeah, we just saw Horizons. I mean, some of these don't even exist. You have the Living Seas. Really beautiful stuff.
I was going to mention, just in particular, I know because I've been reading Morgan Lee Richardson's Twitter, each artwork has, like icons and such from the attraction.
Right.
So I really enjoy it.
And here you can be Figment if you want to, right on the wall, which we did, of course. This is a new location this year for the painting by the numbers. I wrote down the official name of it, which you should have on your notes.
Oh, it's just called Expression Section. And so it's a little different this year, but not that different. It's in a
you can choose your own paint color for once.
Well, that was one thing, but I don't know if that will be always the same, but it's in a different area, and this is away from the painting. So where you pick it up is away from the painting. Plus, there's social distancing involved.
Right. So we have our own section here, which is kind of funny because you see white on one side of me and white on the other. Now, this was opening day, of course, so this was the very first of the murals to be done. So they give you a number. I was on number 5 here, and you can see we're fully distant, and you get your usual 5 squares. So, of course, I had to pick just the right 5 squares to paint, and you did a great job of capturing the artist at work here.
Yes, and mine were really hard to find, actually, within the area I was at. It took me a while to find. I don't remember what number I was, but okay. So now we are at the Chock art, which is one of my favorite things to see because it's so different. Every time we visit, there is different artwork here, and I really enjoy that. And so we are looking at, well, some of them are non-Disney. Like our hawk here has non-Disney, and also Bryn does non-Disney.
After Monet, they all are called this.
I have to ask about the after, because it'll be like before Monet, after Monet. I'll have to ask about that.
3D art.
Yes, and so Nate Baranowski makes the 3D art, and it's pretty much always Disney. That was a Beauty and the Beast, and then he also, he's done others in the past as well. Right, now this is from Frozen 2. And this is really incredible because you can step on one of those rocks. And
and it looks like you're really there.
Well, it looks like you can make it look like you're petting, the horse. And I can't think of the name of the horse right now, but the Knock.
Yeah,
it's called the Knock.
Right,
N-O-K-K. Anyway,
amazing. It really looks real.
He's incredible. And so Lee, always makes the other Disney art. So she and Nate are the only two who can do these. Maybe it's Lay. Isn't that terrible? I'm not sure how to pronounce her name.
Well,
I always see her. She's so
she
talented.
answers to either way.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm going to ask her.
So this is very interesting. The Chock full of character. I was told, by the way, on our YouTube video of this that I spelled it wrong. It's supposed to be chock full of character. There's no such word as chock full of character, but apparently they didn't get the
It is
the
chock.
play on words that Disney is doing
Right.
there.
So they call it chock full of character, even though these aren't chalk drawings. They say to look for the chalk drawings, but they're actually like decals. The first year they did it, I thought it was painting. Like I thought they actually painted on everything, but they don't. And it doesn't even look like chalk. So I don't know why they call it that.
I love it though. It's kind of like a
I
scavenger
do.
hunt. It's one of my favorite things of the whole year. We have a little. Is this Konai from Brother Bear? Is it Kenai or
I think
Kenai?
it's Coda. Right?
Coda. See, we're both totally wrong in our names.
I'm so tired today.
Yes.
So it was still Christmas.
But it's still Brother Bear. I knew that.
Yes.
Part. And not crowded, by the way.
It wasn't crowded, and it was still Christmas. And
Well, Christmas just went away like 2 or 3 days ago.
yes, it was up for a really long time. So here are the Robin Hood characters. I think last year was their first time here. They're in the same area next to Lords and Ladies.
So we're going to take a look. I think it's Peter Pan up here, his shadow. I like how everything sort of fits the locations.
Well, that's the
point
of it.
Right.
And I think that Peter Pan might have been moved from last year, but it's Peter Pan's shadow that we're seeing in the UK Pavilion. And unfortunately, the stores that are over on that side are not even open yet.
So on opening day, when we saw this painting, the character painting here that we see every year, you had predicted that perhaps Alice would make an appearance in this area with her painting. And what do you know? The next time we were there, we saw Alice, and I got a chance to talk to her. I'll link to that in the show notes. But she was telling me all about her artwork, and she always signs her art, she said. She was taught that. You should always sign your art. So she did a fine job with that painting.
She's very talented.
Very talented, indeed.
So, yeah, and I thought maybe some of the other characters would be with their artwork, but we haven't seen anything like that, like Snow White.
Right. But they're all kind of close together there.
Right,
And we're going to show that in just a second in the courtyard.
I don't know why they're not in their normal locations this year.
Well, Alice had told me to walk over here and check out these various locations of the character art. So we're about to take a look at each and every one of them. You'll remember all of these from previous years. We've seen every one of them. Actually, I'm not sure if we've seen all of them, but I know we've seen most of them in the past.
No, everything, there might be one that I haven't seen, but I think pretty much everything.
Certainly this one we've
yes,
seen.
so usually this is over in the France Pavilion.
In the little gazebo.
In the gazebo, yes. There's a couple that have been in the France Pavilion. And Snow White that artwork is normally in the Germany Pavilion.
Right by
with
her
Snow
Wishing
White.
Well, where she used to have her meet and greet there.
So I don't know if someday we'll see any of the characters out here with their art, just like we've seen Alice. Now this is Belle, and that's normally also in the France Pavilion along the water.
Looks like Maurice is the artist on this one.
They're all so talented. I don't know why they're not working. For
other
Disney as
years,
artists.
I have met Belle with that painting, and we've met Donald, and
Yes.
Donald would be so proud of his artwork.
This is actually my yearly favorite, and I love to go see Donald. And we don't always every year, but I like to really see Donald with his painting.
Now I have to admit, this next one, the Milan one, I don't think I've ever seen
I think
Mulan with her art in the past.
I think, though, that she has been in the China Pavilion. I don't think this is new. I think it was like new last year or something.
Right, and perhaps we just never made it over there. And we'll see these throughout the coverage here, that you can get your photo with the picture spot there.
Right, and those are really nice because you can like step into different artwork. Now, again, we're sort of mixing two festivals here because there's so much of the Festival of the Holidays that was still up on that day. And
we're going to take a look
yes,
at
we're looking
Remy
at Remy.
and Emile.
So they've been here a few years, just during the festival for this scavenger type hunt. There's nothing new this year. Last year there was. This year there's not. I'm hoping that maybe next year they will. There's Emile, and he's like in a macaron. It's one of those macarons that have it looks like
He looks
the
very
raspberries.
happy. Very happy. Now this is a new location. No, this is not the cats here from the Aristocats are not a new location.
No.
But the next one we'll see with
Lumiere.
Lumiere is.
So I'm really glad that the wine shop opened. It's just nice to be able to have another shop to walk through, and then you have the Aristocats over here. And I'm really looking forward also, like today, and I know we're going to show
We're
a
going
little
to
bit of
show
it.
a clip of it.
Some of the France Pavilion, just the restroom open, but because the restroom's open, you can walk a little bit into that France area. So I'm going to do that first thing tomorrow. I wanted, once I knew.
Well, we're not that bad that we didn't drop everything to go cover the new restrooms today.
Well,
we were tempted, but we didn't do it.
I didn't do it tomorrow when I can be there first thing.
And there it is. There now.
I'm so excited.
These rolling plants have been pushed away, and you can walk up there and use the facilities if you so need to.
I'm just excited to be able to walk into a new area of France. It's not like I have to use a restroom there.
Right.
But, there's a little bit of artwork, and you can walk under, I think you can walk under the sign. And I'm really looking forward to just kind of seeing it in person. And I can't wait for the creperie to open, and
you can see
Remy's
the
Ratatouille
queue
Adventure.
for the creperie apparently. So that'll
Yeah,
be nice.
I can't wait to see it in person. I know it's such a little thing, but it's a big thing to me.
So now we are in Morocco, looking for more of the Chock full of art.
Yes, Abu is
Abu.
back in same place as always.
He never quite is able to steal that pot. He's been trying for years.
Well, that's okay.
It's probably for the best. He does have a magic lamp in there, I see.
So in Morocco, like Spice Road Table has a whole new menu, and not everything is open in Morocco, just as in the other countries. But
well, now we're in
Disney has taken it over.
We're in Japan. This was a new addition last year, and I know that this would be one of your favorite of the Chock art character pieces. We have
Gelatoni.
That's right. I was
with
leading up to
Duffy.
it, but you called it.
You were taking too long. So
And Mickey, they have a little Mickey
Yep.
paint spot there.
So Gelatoni, for some reason, Gelatoni is a green cat. I don't know why he's kind of a blue purplish, but it works well enough, and he's with Duffy.
Well, it's a lot of imagination in this art festival, so you have to imagine him in an alternate color.
And that's okay. Almost purple, and purple's my favorite color.
So here we are, the American Adventure, and we're going to take a very quick look at the art here.
Well, it's Amos from Ben and Me, and all I'm going to say is I've never seen it. So I only know it because other people said it when it first came out.
What is it? Is it a short?
It's like a little animated film, and I think it might be.
I mean, I recognize it. Looks like a character I would know, but I don't think I've seen it either.
So,
isn't that crazy?
Is it on Disney Plus? We'll have to check.
Find out. That's right. So we're going to look at some of the butterflies, the very nice picture spots that they have all around, by the way. And this is in the also in the American Adventure area.
And these also look like kind of like decals that they put up, and it's nice to have the art festival going on. The day that we were here the longest, and just while we're looking at this, we met up with a bunch of artist friends of ours, Don Ducky Williams and Alex. It's really nice to see everybody.
Now, this was fun. We decided to do the Animation Academy to participate, and today we are learning to draw Mickey, which we've had to do in the past, but every time I do it, I still learn a little something on how.
Yeah, this was so fun. Like,
It was.
I really enjoy doing this. I hope we do it again this year. It wasn't too busy. They keep everybody distanced, and and maybe
Very relaxing. I loved it.
was.
It was so much fun.
It was sort of like we were walking past it, and they're like, "Oh, we're about to start."
So I'm going to show very quickly our progress on our Mickeys, and I think that one is mine. And here are you in action.
I will say, it's not as easy to try to draw, on your lap in the middle of a theme park.
It was very windy, by the way, that
and
day.
it was windy. It's not as easy to do as if you're kind of like, I can't really see the screen as well, especially from the back, but I think I did okay, and you did good too.
See, I'm not as good as Alice, but I did sign my art as you did, and there we go.
I really enjoy this, and we haven't seen the Voices of Liberty there yet.
And Mariachi Cobre also playing in that location.
We have seen them at other times, but it's nice to have Voices of Liberty there too. There's going to be a gelato place here.
Funny that you mention it, because I
Yes.
climbed up on the bridge, and we're going to get a little close-up of the new gelato stand. It looks very nice from this angle, from what you could see of it.
The way you said climbing on the bridge, like you walked
I
up the
climbed up the steps. I didn't go any place.
There's not
not
much of a
in public.
climb. You went up a few
It's
steps.
higher.
So I don't know when this is opening, so we'll see. That should be interesting.
Yeah. So our next stop is actually, I think we're going to still show a tiny bit of of Italy because we have another character to find.
Jiminy Cricket. Now, Jiminy Cricket is in a different area this year because of that gelato.
Yeah, he would have been behind a
construction.
construction wall if he was where he was in previous years.
Right. And so a few characters are different than last year, not very many of them. So here he is.
And he seems to want to go up the steps. I wonder what
Climb the steps. Climb the steps.
That's right. So anyway, here is Jiminy, and I think we're going to take another look at some of those character encounters, or the, where you can sort of be in the artwork. And here are some nice art, and I'm going to show you what you see from the other side.
And I was taking pictures of you as you're like walking through here, which was really funny. And I'm trying to remember who did this, the Scream, and I can't think of it right now.
Normally all the
I know some
artists.
of them. I know some of them. I'm a big fan of Van Gogh. I'm really a big, ever since we started going back to Paris, like especially Impressionism. I love Impressionism, and I just bought that nice Taschen
beautiful book,
Van Gogh book.
And you saw that it was an absolutely gorgeous day. Now we've made our way over to Germany.
So there's several Pascals in Germany. They're in the same places as usual. They're doing the same thing as usual. But it's still, there's something just very nice about still walking around World Showcase and finding them. And it's so weird to see Christmas still, in our video.
Yeah, because some of this was from our second visit, which was on the 12th of January.
Yeah, I think that it was mid-January when almost everything
I think the 15th.
down.
The 15th is when it all went down.
I know holiday services, it has a small department anyway. I've always heard small department holiday services. So probably even maybe a little smaller. And it was still nice to see Christmas every time we went. We didn't expect to keep seeing it.
That's right. And I think this will be the last Pascal there. He's changed colors.
And the shop here is not open. There's again, maybe half of the shops at World Showcase are open right now. But it was fun. He's like hiding there.
So now we're going to try some of the cuisine, classic cuisine.
The funny thing is that a lot of this here is like French food, like the braised short rib, the coq au vin. Is that how it's coq au vin?
Mm-hmm.
The opera cake is all of it's really kind of French, and we already have a France, booth. So this is supposed to be kind of European. They have cava from Spain and some other different items to drink that we didn't get. But this is all kind of what you might find, I think, in France.
Very nice presentation, though. It was nice to actually try a full booth, and I'm sure we'll try a little bit more as we return to the festival.
And I hope I'm saying it right. The coq au vin, which I normally,
this is
that's the short rib, which I liked, but I'm saying that was very good. I thought that there was like a little cinnamon or something inside it, which just gave it a really nice flavor. The potatoes were great. The opera cake, though, probably was still my favorite of the three items.
Isn't that funny? Something else we tried recently, your favorite of the items was the dessert. I think that was from last week.
I love dessert. But you know what? It was all good. I thought the short rib, I don't know if it was a little overcooked for me.
Right. And what a location, by the way. It was
nice.
Was really nice to be able to, and it was, as you can see, it was
windy.
Not a crowded day. Windy, but not crowded. So perfect for us who like to distance as we dine.
And this was the day that we saw everybody, right?
We did. We saw everybody.
So
day.
Jeff wanted to leave early, and I'm like, well, we should try to see Alex. He was the last one. And then
these are all artist friends that
we kept running into other people, and it extended our stay, and so we saw everybody. It was really good.
It was great, sometimes, and we actually left the park, by the way.
We left at like 3 p.m. We walked out, and then I'm like, I kind of want to see Sam Carter's work because he is fantastic.
And you didn't realize that it was there. I had seen it earlier.
I didn't know where it was.
Right.
And you said you had seen it. So we went
back. It was
back
a good excuse to go back. And then you got to talk to Ashley, and then that led to
Ashley Taylor
talking to Don Williams. And before you knew it, we talked to everybody. So
and we know we know them all. But and we ran into some other friends. So instead of leaving at 3, we left at like 6. It was great, though. It was great to see everybody.
So while we were kind of chatting away here, we are still looking at more of the hidden art. Again, this is one of my favorite things of all. And we're going to see a new location for Mushu here. This was the biggest change because he was hard to find over here.
And what we're going to see also is when we talk to Will Dasso, there is artwork for sale with this
Right.
art, which is
Which
terrific.
I would own this.
Even
I was considering it. It's very nice.
a litho or even postcard, just something, that has it, because I love it, and it reminds me of the festival.
Well, and it was
more
the
than
first one that
anything.
we ever saw. It's sort of the one that started it all. It wasn't announced as
Right,
anything.
right.
It was just
all of a sudden you
just
see
discovered
Mushu
it.
in the wall, and it was really, I love it, and I hope it would be nice if they made it really a scavenger hunt where you get a little something to take with you at the end, that you can pay for.
Right now we're in Norway, looking at are these snow geese?
Snow geese, and there was something else there. Somebody else there last year. One of the trolls was there, and I don't know if one of the trolls is there this year because I didn't think of
Well,
it.
if he was, we didn't find him.
We didn't. And then Dante Two Ways here at the Mexico Pavilion. The Mexico Pavilion can get pretty busy because they have a margarita stand. While we're looking at Dante,
Yeah, I had
here.
to wait in line to go into the pavilion just to get these two shots here.
Right, these are harder because there's a queue outside, and I don't know if the ride was busy. Sometimes there's just a queue just to get in because people want margaritas, and there's a margarita stand outside too.
Right.
So I don't know.
So next we're going to talk to again Will Dasso. Why don't you set up what he'll be talking about?
Will Dasso is the guest experience manager. He talks about merchandise. He is fantastic, and he's just showing us some of the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts merchandise. A lot of Figment, some Dreamfinder, and remember that artwork I mentioned.
Hi everybody, I'm Will. I'm a guest experience manager here at Epcot, and we're going to be showing you all the new items for the 2021 Epcot International Festival of the Arts. This year is our 5th annual event, so almost all of our products are acknowledging that. So you can see right here on our apparel, we've got a patch. On most of the products, we have acknowledgement of that. And let's actually start with our pins. I know a lot of times we end with showing you those, but we have 4 different pins. This one up here is available for everybody and is actually a limited release. The other 3 are all limited edition, and we want to highlight this one in particular because it's just for our annual pass holders. So come in nice and early to capture all of those because they will go quickly. The story that we're telling through all of our products is, of course, that Figment is our host character because he is certainly one of our most creative and artistic characters around. And of course, he calls Epcot home. So Figment loves color, and as our spirit jersey reminds you, Figment loves pigment. And you will see him throughout our products drawing on artist canvases. He's drawing a little self-portrait here as well as his friends. So Mickey, Donald, Chip and Dale are joining in on the creative fun.
That's really cool.
Down here we have a new product type for this year's International Festival of the Arts, which are ornaments. We have one available for everyone, as well as a style just for annual pass holders. Continuing with the creative trend of Figment, our mug, which reminds you to eat, sleep, art, repeat. You can see Figment's had his input there with the stylized handle.
And then you have the Tervis, it looks like. Here.
Yeah, we have 2 Tervis options. So we have the water bottle style, which is really popular, especially in the Florida heat, as well as the tall tumbler. The spirit jersey, like we previously mentioned, has been really popular already. So have our 2 magic bands. So each of those are limited edition of 2,000 pieces. The top one is for everybody, and the bottom one is for annual pass holders. And we want to acknowledge on the magic band as well as the annual pass holder t-shirt is someone we haven't seen in a while. There's the Dreamfinder getting some recognition, so we love being able to highlight him. We have a special art piece that was commissioned just for our event by Doug Bali. So here we see Mushu and Cricky in the China Pavilion, and this has already been a hit. So you can find this at the Disney Artist Tent between Port of Entry and Canada Pavilion. We have it in a deluxe print, the poster, which we're showing right here, and a framed canvas.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, we love it. We think it really captures the fun and the spirit of the event. And of course, I'd be remiss without highlighting Disney Figment's Brush with the Master Scavenger Hunt, returning by popular demand in 2021. Guests are invited to go through the 11 host pavilions of World Showcase, searching for famous works of art from across the world. And once you've completed your scavenger hunt, you will get a choice of one of 4 different character puzzles. We know a lot of you over the last year have been practicing your puzzle making skills at home, so we're going to challenge you to put them to use right here. Come out and see the Epcot International Festival of the Arts happening throughout Epcot until February 22nd. We will have over 100 visiting artists featuring Disney art, Star Wars art, Marvel art for the first time, as well as non-Disney art all across the park. Hope to see you there.
One thing about Will is he always wants me to spend money. Every time he does one of these things, there's always something I want.
I love that he came over to me and he's like, he knew what I wanted. He said, you just want me to kind of go over everything, and he'll just do it in one shot. And he's just so good at it.
And during the event the day of the event that you were at, they had a second Harmonious barge installed. So we decided to take the Friendship boat on World Showcase Lagoon and take a look at that. We'll have a nice. Oh, there's Denise hard at work here as the boat is pulling away, and we're going to take a look at the barge.
Don't look at me. So there's going to be 5 total barges. I think there's like 2 smaller ones, and then the center one.
Right. What I like about this shot though is because you're so close to water level, you really get a good idea how massive these things are. I mean, they are huge in person.
Yeah, but like I saw a picture from BioReconstruct from above, and they look so small.
Everything looks small from a helicopter.
But I mean, in relation to World Showcase Lagoon, if you see it from the air, they look much smaller.
I saw that picture that you're talking about.
I was surprised. I was surprised by that. But in person, they look really big, and they look like these big tacos. Like if I burned, when I leave the taco shell in the oven too long, that's what they look like to me.
I've never seen you burn one quite to this level.
I have.
I think the house would be on fire if that was the case.
I have in the past, but there, you get the oil, so it does tend to smoke a little bit.
So are we thinking this year maybe for the 50th anniversary?
I hope so, but we don't know what's going to happen in the coming months, so we'll see.
And I really enjoy just being on the Friendship boat outside. It was really nice to be out in the back there and fully distant and have the wind. It was really nice.
Well, we never do it because you can just walk it
much faster usually.
Yeah, but it was nice because there wasn't really almost nobody was on board with us.
And it wouldn't be a festival without the various promenades and cavalcades. This is the Princess Promenade, and we're going back to the pre-Christmas look. So it was just the princesses and the characters here, Mickey and friends, in their regular outfit. Nothing special this year for the festival of the or the Taste of the Festival of the Arts.
Although Chippendale, we saw a video of Chippendale where Joy normally is, and I know they're not dressed in like Festival of the Arts costumes or something, but I thought it was fun that they mixed it up a little bit.
It'll be interesting to see if there's any changes also for the Epcot or the Taste of the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival too.
I can't wait for that. In a few weeks, we're going to be seeing, that starting.
Mickey, they could finally use Mickey in his flower and garden outfit when he came alive as one of the topiaries. Wouldn't that be wonderful to see him on the vehicle?
That was a great costume.
And this is something you always love, the windows here. All the characters were in one window. That was quite interesting. I've never seen that.
No, it's really different. They just kind of shoved them all into one window just to stand there. I just thought it was interesting.
So we're on our way out now, taking a very quick look at the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, Cosmic Rewind area. And
we have no idea when any of this Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, we don't know when any of that will open.
And we rode Spaceship Earth for fun, and as you could see, there was really very short, almost no line, pretty much walk right in.
Yeah, we don't really ride a lot. Usually only if we can walk on is a couple minutes maybe.
And this was absolutely a walk on.
Yeah, especially we don't do a lot of indoor stuff right now. But it was fun to be able to get back on it.
So while we're kind of rounding the show out, let's talk about some news. We'll start off with Disneyland Resort. Disneyland has sunsetted the annual pass program. So there will be no more annual pass holders for the foreseeable future, although it could come back at some time. They said there'll be some kind of membership program announced, but as of now, if you had a Disneyland annual pass, as we both do, we both have current Disneyland passes.
We'll be getting partial refunds.
You'll get refunds. So that was some big news this week.
Yeah, it's sad, but hopefully those who have Walt Disney World annual passes, right now you cannot purchase a Walt Disney World annual pass. Like you can renew what you have, but you cannot purchase a new one. So I don't know what will happen, with that either. And also we learned today Disneyland Paris, which was supposed to open up again February 13th. It will be at least April 2nd.
Yeah, they're shooting for April
Right.
2nd.
It could be anytime. Everything right now has to do with flexibility. You have to be, really flexible. We don't know what, like Tokyo is having a resurgence of COVID, and
Tokyo also stopped their annual pass holder program a number of months ago.
But I was going to mention they've closed some shops. I know the parks aren't really busy at all out there. So, everything is about flexibility.
Absolutely.
We just don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
But I'm hoping as vaccines, are starting to ramp up, I'm hoping by later this year things will be starting to get back to normal.
I really have my fingers crossed. I hope by the 50th, by October, that things will be in a much better shape than they are now.
And I don't know what normal will be towards the end of the year.
Unfortunately, though, I have a feeling we won't be back at Disneyland anytime soon.
No, I mean, I'm really glad I went in March, but I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but to me, like, there's no sense of, I still don't have a sense of time, even though we do all of this. Like, I went to Disneyland in March, and that's almost a year now. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like I was almost just at Disneyland, like a couple months ago. So it's just kind of an odd thing to think of it like that.
So that is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Yes, check them out. MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, they've been in business so long, and they're really good at what they do. And we both obviously highly recommend them. I used to be a Disney authorized Disney vacation planner, and I'm so proud to be able to work with them, and definitely check them out.
So next week we are going to have part 2 of our stay that we started talking about last week. For my birthday week, we were at on property, and then we moved from the Bay Lake Tower to the Contemporary Resort for 4 days.
To Polynesian Resort.
Oh no,
for
from
4
the
days.
Contemporary to the of course.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes,
to say.
we moved all
Bay
the
Lake
way
Tower to the Contemporary. What a ride that was!
That-
No. To the Poly, of course.
all the way
Polynesian
across.
Village.
Yes.
And
Seven
so
Seas
we'll
Land.
talk all about that. We had quite the adventure, all sorts of different things that some things we've never even done before. So we should have a lively show next week.
Well, but we also will be talking. I'm going to show the France Pavilion.
Oh, the
which
France
I'm
restrooms!
so excited to see
Excitement
that tomorrow.
at its finest.
I'm not going to go inside and show the restrooms because they don't look that interesting anyway, from what I've seen.
Right.
But the area, just to be able to walk into the area and see the artwork and see just a little bit a taste of a taste of the
That's right.
Remy's
A taste of the
Ratatouille
Ratatouille.
adventure.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
So, and then also, like, if I can find Chippendale, we're going to Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
on Thursday.
And probably Disney Springs. Maybe we'll check out that new donut shop.
We already did check it out.
Well,
'cause I brought,
yes, but I want to try I hear they have a great chicken
Everglades.
sandwich there.
So we might do that. And then also, there's so much, there's so much. We just did Gaylord Palms. It's hard.
Oh, the pirate and princess
Yeah.
thing. That was fantastic.
It's so weird how much stuff we have. Like, in a normal year, a lot of times we're like, oh, what can we get to talk about? And
We have
no,
more than
weeks.
enough.
So it's hard to figure out what to talk about next week. But we're going to talk about the restrooms in France.
Yeah, so
I can
stay
guarantee you.
tuned. Stay tuned for
A
that.
taste of the Remy's Ratatouille adventure.
Remy's Ratatouille restrooms. Say that 3 times fast.
I'm not.
Anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week. We'll see you all next week. Stay safe. And yeah, that's it for me.
Have a great week and stay safe.